Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The threat of severe weather is over, but rain will continue tonight, heavy at times. Some high water issues were reported earlier in our western counties, but is the flash flood threat diminishing? Let's check in first with Chief Meteorologist Paige Noel on this severe weather alert day. Paige.
Well, Steve, we are going to continue to see kind of those pockets of heavy rain late tonight, early into tomorrow. And that's actually why we have that flash flood watch in effect until 8 p.m. tomorrow. But first, I do want to take you up to radar where we do have one flash flood warning in effect. Now, it is for Rowan County. Haven't gotten any reports out of any high water issues in that area. That does include the city of Moorhead. That goes until 1:30 in the morning. Have gotten a few reports out of Fleming County, which is just right outside of our area. So we are going to have to continue to watch the flash flooding threat overnight tonight and throughout the day on your Tuesday. So make sure if you are headed bed tonight to have a way to get watches and warnings throughout the overnight hours. We're still hanging on to some pockets of heavy rain, but it's mostly in our western counties. Areas along I-75 up a little bit towards Lexington and areas I-64. We've talked about this area, really highlighting it and watching it closely as we head into tomorrow, as they have just seen a lot of rain. And it shows right here, Somerset, 3.13 inches of rain. Now, these are 24-hour rainfall totals, but really we saw that rain move into Somerset probably around 3 or so. Rowan County already over 2 inches, while Jackson's just at half an inch. McKee, 0.75 inches, 1.3 in Whitley City. And I know even areas in our far eastern county have barely received rain over into parts of Whitesburg and over into Harlan. Once again, that flash flood watch remains in effect until 8 p.m. on your Tuesday. We'll break down the timing of that rain moving in tomorrow coming up in a little bit.
All right, Paige, thank you. Now to a developing story out of Pulaski County. That's where state troopers say a standoff ended in gunfire today. Police responded to a shots fired call on Smith Spur Road in Eubank when one of their cars came under fire. We pointed that out to you on this map. KSB Special Response Team was called to the standoff. Troopers say they had to shoot the man, who was later taken to the hospital. We do not know his name or condition at this time. We will update this story as we learn more on WYMT.com. President Trump revealed today that he has been taking an anti-malaria drug for about a week and a half to protect against the new coronavirus. The drug has not been proven for fighting COVID-19. Meanwhile, the U.S. death toll from the coronavirus is now at 90,000 and counting. That's more than the Korean and Vietnam wars combined. Even so, right now, more and more states are taking steps toward a return to a semi-normal life. CBS's Elise Preston reports from New York.
Nearly every state in the country has started to ease social distancing restrictions.
6 foot, please. 6 foot.
Lines formed outside a San Diego County casino before its doors opened Monday. California Governor Gavin Newsom says the state is getting ready to give more industries a green light to restart.
Sporting events, pro sports in that first week or so of June without spectators.
Shopping malls have reopened in Broward County, Florida, but there were few customers to be seen on day one.
I feel like we're in a zombie movie.
Even hard-hit states are lifting their lockdown orders. Shopkeepers in Ridgewood, New Jersey say they've been waiting for this.
We'll take anything we can get. At this time, I mean, we'll take it. After 8 weeks, I'm willing to do anything, whatever it takes.
But at the Jersey Shore, crowds seem to ignore the requirement to stay physically apart.
We've got to enforce this, but I also don't want to start World War III.
In Texas, daycare centers can now reopen. On Friday, so can bars, bowling alleys, and zoos.
COVID-19 still exists in Texas. Our goal is to find ways to coexist with COVID-19 as safely as possible.
Parts of New York are staying shut indefinitely.
We are not opening our beaches in the near term. It is not safe. It is not the right thing to do in the epicenter of this crisis.
The city may fence off its shoreline in order to discourage people from congregating there. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Back here in Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear gave 2 days worth of updates today. Sunday saw a total of 122 new cases and 3 new deaths. Today, the Commonwealth saw 138 new cases and 9 new deaths. Altogether, that brings the total to 7,935 cases and 346 deaths, 200 of those deaths at long-term care facilities. During the weekend, Bell County announced its first case of COVID-19, and today health officials announced the first case in Wolfe County. Now, if you look at this map, only 4 counties remain without a confirmed case of COVID-19. 2 of those in the WYMT coverage area. Those are Estill and Lee counties. Elliott County still has no cases, and Robertson County, which is right next to Harrison County up there towards northern Kentucky, that's where the virus was first reported in Kentucky. This Wednesday, many retail stores will open their doors for the first time in weeks. Businesses have used curbside pickup and enhanced their technology use, like websites, to continue serving their customers' needs. Prestonsburg Mayor Les Stapleton says that businesses have remained compliant and have been patient, so it is time people show their support for them.
Buy local. You know, these are the people that they support your baseball teams. They support your high school. They're the ones that are out here when we have parades. They're the ones out here working for us, working with us.
Many businesses will implement new procedures and changes inside their stores to comply with guidelines to keep people safe. Now, one retail business that may reopen is JCPenney, but for how long, no one really knows. The 118-year-old retailer filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection on Friday. In court documents today, officials revealed they will likely close about 200 stores. It is unclear right now exactly which stores will close or how many of its 85,000 employees will be impacted. Child health experts say an increase in fear, anxiety, and behavioral problems come as children's routines completely change. As the coronavirus continues to spread, we all are facing new stresses, including physical and psychological health risks. With schools and businesses such as child therapists operating differently, children are particularly vulnerable. Child trauma therapist Hillary Baker says using telehealth can help children find an outlet.
As a trauma therapist, our main concern is children being home and they're not around the mandated reporters as much. So being around teachers, maybe they're not keeping consistent doctor's appointments or school personnel.
Baker says these people often report if children have a change in behavior or have a concern about their home life. Individual sessions can be done using Skype, Facebook Messenger, or by calling. Parent-child therapy is also available. As the state begins to reopen, Governor Beshear is starting to lift some restrictions, and one of those being hospital visitation. For weeks, no visitation was allowed, you might remember. Now, with the okay from Governor Beshear, Baptist Health Corbin is among those allowing 1 visitor at a time. WYMT's Emily Bennett has more on the change.
For weeks, these doors stood closed to all visitors.
It's been terrible.
One of these visitors being Marilyn Montavo. Her son has MS.
He's so sick, it's really hard. It's really hard.
Heartbroken to have not been by his side, but on Monday she saw him for the first time in 3 weeks.
They're very strict, and that's good, because I want him to be safe. I want to be safe, and I want everybody else to be safe too.
Last week, Governor Beshear gave hospitals the go-ahead to start allowing visitation.
Because of the curve and the number of cases are declining in the state, as well as the PPE supply in our area has been ample.
Anthony Powers, president of Baptist Health Corbin, changed his policy to 1 visitor at a time.
And really just go from the front door straight to the room, stay there. And we've also asked for them to limit their visitation time.
Each visitor must sign in and be screened.
You are asked a series of questions and then get a temperature check, and everybody in the building is masked.
Even though visitation is still restricted, Powers hopes this new policy aids patients in their recovery.
We think it's really helps in the healing process to have loved ones to come and check on you and encourage that. And so we're excited to be able to offer that again.
Trusting the rooms will soon be filled with visitors once again. In Corbin, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, there are a couple of restrictions. Oncology patients are not allowed visitors as they are very high risk, and those visiting behavioral health patients will have to schedule an appointment beforehand. Visitation is from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. each day. This year's Buckhorn senior class will soon be graduating at the Log Cathedral, and while it will not look the same as years past, the 30 students becoming new alumni will also have another familiar item in their possession. Purple Bibles that have been given to the graduates for more than 20 years are sitting in the seniors' lockers right now. It's in memory of Brian Carroll, who died less than a year after graduating from Buckhorn, and the sight of this year's Bibles almost brings his mother, Ginger Carroll, to tears.
I hope he would be really proud. I hope he would be really proud. Brian kept several Bibles in his room. He loved to hear about, the Lord. He talked with his papas and his grandparents with, on the Bible all the time. So he would be very proud, I hope.
This year's class will receive their Bibles tomorrow. For a month now, the Letcher County Courthouse has been closed to foot traffic due to COVID-19 concerns. Now the courthouse is set to reopen. WYMT's Dakota Makris spoke with a county official who says he's excited about seeing folks in the courthouse again.
For the last few months, this sound has echoed throughout the Letcher County Courthouse. Closed due to an executive order, this was the only way to reach people here. But Wednesday, that will change.
The county judge's office, my office, the county court clerk, Winston Mead's office, and the PVA, Ricky Rosie's office.
As they move from phone calls to face-to-face conversations, space is key.
I think with their front desk as big as it is, they'll be able to get, I think, 4 customers at a time in.
This tape on the floor shows how things will be different.
It'll be one person inside the office, and then we'll have a line outside the doors. Whenever they're finished, another one come in.
While they've gotten used to the phones ringing, they are looking forward to this sound once again.
I'm glad that we have the doors open again, and we've had a lot of phone calls, people wondering when we're going to open, and I think we're ready.
In Letcher County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, the circuit court clerk, circuit and district judges, and driver's license offices will remain closed until June 1st. If you do not feel comfortable going to the courthouse, officials still encourage phone calls to conduct business. Coming up at 11, the University of Kentucky fired all 4 of its cheerleading coaches following a 3-month investigation into hazing. What they uncovered just ahead. And a local business was broken into this morning. Nothing was taken, but their unwelcome visitor certainly left a mark.
And the flash flood threat continues as heavy rain falls tonight and into tomorrow. I'll have those details coming up.